Welcome everybody to the weekly WP Roundup with BJ Keeton. That's me. Every Friday afternoon I go live so that we can talk about the best news and tutorials and resources that were published this week about WordPress. We try to make this a really interactive show so that everyone can ask questions, can talk, and get to know each other. And so feel free to throw any kind of questions or comments in the live chat on either Facebook or YouTube where we're live streaming. And be sure to expand the description of this video because that's where all of the links are that we're going to be talking about today. So you can click through, open them up in a couple of dozen different tabs, give the content creators some love because without them, we couldn't be doing this. Welcome back. Like I said, I'm so glad to see that there are comments already coming through. I see Uncle Social is using Trello finally. It's very, very good. I hope you have some luck with that on keeping up with it, unlike me. From St. Augustine, Florida. Oh my goodness, I'm jealous. It is dreary and ugly here, and I'm hoping it's beautiful for you guys down there. Everything is just going to be crazy weather this weekend here, so I'm hoping that you get out of that. Digging right in, I'm really excited. So I want to dig in on the news this week, and it is because it's something that y'all have been wanting for Divi for a while. It came out yesterday. I'm hoping that y'all checked your email or updated Divi and saw this, but the very first link in the description is to our newest feature update, the improved compatibility with the Gutenberg Editor, which is the Divi layout block. This is awesome. This is so cool. I've been playing with it. I'm really, really excited about this one. This is one that we have been testing and playing with and trying to figure out how we want to do this for a while, and it is finally live. You guys can update to Divi 4.1 and you'll be able to enable this. It is great. If you click into the post, you'll see the video where Nick goes through exactly what it is and what it does. And we'll have a live stream, as far as I know, on Monday at 6 a.m. Eastern with Mac answering questions, walking through it as well. This one is where you can enter into the Gutenberg editor, the normal block editor, like you always would, making any other kind of post or page. And just like you would insert a paragraph, an image, anything else, you can now insert an instance of the Divi builder. You can go in there and use any modules that you would like, that you would just like to have as a part of the page, as opposed to using Divi for the entire thing. If there's a Divi module you want inside a blog post, for instance, things like that, you can do pretty much anything that you want now with Divi and Gutenberg. So I'm really excited about this. This is one that I'm going to be taking advantage of a lot myself, that for side projects, I use Gutenberg to do everything, actually, in terms of blogging. I use it to write all the posts, and I have my contributors do the same thing. And it's a very, very powerful tool, but it feels like there's always something missing that I can't get it to do exactly what I want it to do, but Divi can, and now I'm really, really excited that I can do both of them, that I can use different kinds of like preview modules and blog modules and and code modules. I'm just excited to be able to have this be able to be inserted into any poster page as kind of a mini instance of the Divi builder. It's going to be awesome. It is its own standalone block. So once you get into the Gutenberg editor, once you get into the block editor, all you have to do is click the plus button to add a block like you would anything else, and you'll see one with the Divi D that says Divi layout. So all you have to do is click into that. All you have to do is click into that, and you will be able to insert it and then interact with it just like you would any other page that you build with Divi, inserting it from scratch, doing full layout within it, inserting a single row with like 3 different modules in it. Just whatever you need to do, you can do it now. And Gutenberg and Divi now play really, really nice together. So you're not going to get the excuse me, you're not going to get that change of that screen where it's like, would you rather use this editor or this editor? Now you can use all of them. It's super great. I'm very, very excited about this one. It surprised me. I wasn't aware that it was launching, so I got the email yesterday, and I was like immediately going to update all of my sites. It was so exciting for me to get this. I'm going to be using it a bunch. So have y'all used this yet? Have y'all updated Divi to be able to play around with the Divi layouts block? I'm curious on what y'all think about it, and especially as we move forward to be able to choose how to do this, how we've got full width Gutenberg pages, that you're using sections from our Divi layouts as pieces of your Gutenberg pages and blogs. It's like I'm really excited for how y'all are going to be using this as well. So I see. I got distracted by comments, as y'all will see that I do a couple of times. Daryl says, I played with some last night and just not feeling it yet. Is there any reason why not? I'm curious about that. Like, I've been excited for it, but I think it was this is something that I have very specifically been wanting to be able to play with and use. So I'm curious if there's any kind of functionality or anything that you were looking for that, maybe could, submit as a feature request or something. I'm just, like I said, I'm really wanting to get a feel for this. I really think that this is a really great option to have. So, I see that, OK asks on YouTube, how to use both true parallax and overlay in a section without the full width header. I don't think I've ever done both. I think I've always had to choose. I think it might be exclusive one to the other. If other people have figured out a workaround for that, because I've always, when I've clicked it, it's always one or the other. I've never found a workaround for that one on normal sections. And Daryl says regarding the new update with the Divi block, I just feel like I don't get a good feel for how the post will look, and I get that. That was where I think a lot of playing with it is going to come in handy. For me, I was using it as a way to insert individual modules inside blog posts, where I have it set at full within the post content width, and then being able to have that area of the post with a Divi module in it while continuing it going there. It is really useful for that. That is my main use case for it. So I'm really interested to see how other people are going to implement it. Like you said, to see how everything looks when it's put together. Michael Phillipson asks on YouTube, how do you get into the Gutenberg editor on an existing site that I built with Divi? Michael, there are two ways that you could do this to get into it. I'm assuming since you built it with Divi, that you might have the classic editor plugin enabled. So if you do, disable the classic editor plugin. That will enable the Divi builder on the back end, where you'll be able to create a new post or a page, and you will have the block editor with Gutenberg on that. If you've not used that plugin, you can go into the Divi options, and I may actually have to log in somewhere and see, because I can't remember the exact tab to see what it is. Inside the Divi options, there is an Enable Classic Builder. You scroll down, let me see I'm clicking into it now to see. It's Divi and Builder. And then it'll be post type integration and advanced. So you will be able to click enable the latest Divi builder experience and disable classic editor within Divi builder advanced. And Michael says, so I can only use Gutenberg on a new page, right? And no, you actually don't have to. If you go in, once it's enabled and you have the block editor enabled as your default editor, you can just click edit. And what it does is takes the post content or page content that you have in WordPress already, built with Divi or with the traditional classic editor. What it will do is use that as what they call a classic block, and it's just one big classic editor is what it is. It will look exactly like you have it in the normal editor, and then you can convert that into blocks and however you want to do with it. But if you enable Gutenberg, you can click edit and then go right into it. It might take you, what I've done in the past when I've had that happen and I've gone into changing from the classic editor to Gutenberg and having that big block within Gutenberg itself, I copy and paste that content, cut and paste that content, because pasting it makes the content get automatically split into separate Gutenberg blocks, and then I just delete the classic block that it had initially. And I have had no problems with that. Let me put it that way. On my personal experience, I've not had any kind of issues doing that. The worst issue that I've had is an extra line break beneath every paragraph that I've had to just go and delete. This is my delete button, by the way. That was me hitting the delete button. But that's what I've done in the past. So if you don't get the Gutenberg editor when you click on add new post or add new page or edit, edit will do it too. Like I said, if you don't get that, make sure you don't have the classic editor plugin installed and activated, or you don't have the classic builder disabled in the Divi options, and enable the latest Divi builder experience, because that will get you the current back end editor where you can use the block, the Divi layout block with Gutenberg, as well as doing the real-time editing in the back end, with all of the features that you get on the front end, but doing it in the back end, which is awesome. And I'm really, really a big fan of this one, because if you're still using the back-end editor like some folks are, I highly suggest trying this new Divi Builder experience. Well, I guess it's called the latest Divi Builder experience now, because it's not new anymore. It's really, really fast. We've made a lot of speed enhancements to it over the last probably 3 months. And if you haven't gone back and tried it since probably at least the fall, the beginning of fall, I highly suggest doing that as well. Like, y'all, it is so quick now. I've not run into any issues with it like y'all did with when it was first introduced. I've switched to using it completely when I'm designing pages. I use it, and then I use Gutenberg for editing because I just kind of like writing in Gutenberg. I'm going to be honest with you. I like writing in Gutenberg, but that's what I've done, if that makes any sense, Michael. If you need any help, email me, shoot me a tweet, anything like that, and I'd be happy to help. So yeah, we've got those. We got the new block. It's awesome. It's fantastic. So update to Divi 4.1. That's the one that it comes in on. And I saw this morning someone had mentioned a toolset issue that was coming up, that they were having issues with toolset shortcodes. In the comments of that post, I saw that one of the change logs was, and I don't know if it was for this update or a different one, but said fixed compatibility issues with toolset. So I'm not sure what those were, but y'all have asked about that in the past, and I know that there was at least a changelog bug fix that was brought up in the comments of the new Divi block Gutenberg post. So I thought y'all would want to know about that as well. When I saw it, I wanted to make sure that I mentioned that for you as well. Excuse me. I like my Divi purple water bottle. I didn't even think about it until right now, but it's just my favorite color. So made me happy. Now, also in Elegant Themes news, this next month on February 7th is WordCamp Phoenix. So this is going to be our next big community meet and greet. This is going to be where a lot of the team is going for kind of an official WordCamp get together and meet up. So Daryl asked if there's going to be swag, and I say usually. I don't know what it's going to be yet, what there is, but any meetup that I've gone to, there has been swag at. So I can't, like I said, I can't say for sure. I haven't heard about that yet. May not even hear until the actual day of, but the last couple I've been to had swag. Honestly, that was actually where I got this shirt. Yeah, I got it at a meetup too. There's a chance at that one. But I did want to let y'all know about that WordCamp Phoenix, Arizona is, WordCamp Phoenix, Arizona is where we're going to be, and it is the morning of Friday the 7th. And no, this is not an actual swag bottle. This is just me having ordered a stainless steel bottle from a company I use for flavored water, and just happened to like the purple. That one was not it. I wanted, like I said, I wanted to remind y'all about let you know about the Phoenix WordCamp coming up. It's coming up in a month. We're meeting at now we're gonna be there for the WordCamp. I'm gonna be there. Nathan, our content manager, is gonna be there. Jason is going to be there. Divi Wizard Jason, and then event coordinator Raquel is going to be there. So the four of us will be there in Phoenix at the WordCamp and the Divi meet and greet. Our Divi meet and greet that we're doing for you guys is on Friday morning at 7:30, which we do from 7:30 to 9:30, not to interfere with the actual WordCamp itself. We want to have a meet and greet so that you can still get all of the experience out of WordCamp, because this is an awesome camp. And we're going to be meeting at Cartel Coffee Lab. The link and everything is inside. The link to the RSVP and address and everything is within this second post. Apparently it's about 8 minutes away from camp, so it's an easy walk. I invite you to come see us and hang out. It's awesome. Every time I've gone to one of these, they're super fun. I love WordCamps. You guys know that if you've been a watcher of the show before. But it's the meet and greets are great to be able to meet y'all and hang out and really get to know you. It's really, really super exciting. I see Raquel on Facebook is heart emoji and gonna have a blast and so excited. Like I am too. Like I'm so excited about this. So y'all need to buy tickets for WordCamp Phoenix, figure out some way to get to Phoenix, Arizona, so that we can all hang out, have coffee together, and get some absolutely fantastic weekly WP Roundup selfies with everybody. So it should be absolutely delightful. Make sure you click into the link and RSVP for the community meet and greet, because we absolutely want to see you. Uncle Social says, I hope there's a brief ET live stream from Phoenix. I don't think I've ever seen two ET presenters in the same stream. I'm starting to think it's just one person with a collection of disguises. That's because none of us are in the same location. We're very rarely in the same place to be able to do that. There was, if you go back, Uncle Social, if you go back all the way to December of 2017, and actually August of 2017 through December of 2017, there are live streams of this when it was called This Week in WordPress, where Nathan and I did it together, as well as some streams from WordCamp US that we did for together with everybody there, with multiple people, with me and Jason and Nathan and some community members. So if you want to go back a few years and search the archives, you can make sure that you can go see us from there and, see if we're the same person or not. But Raquel says that this camp is going to be lit, that we have amazing speakers lined up, and they do, y'all. Look at the schedule on this, and I'm going to be sad if I'm going to be really sad if I don't get to sit in on some of them, which is probably not going to be the case, because I don't think I've gone to a WordCamp in years I've actually seen a session at. So it'll be fun, and I'll be catching them on WordPress TV like a lot of people might. But yeah, y'all absolutely need to do that. And I see Martin asks on YouTube, how does one upgrade to Divi 4.1? I can't see the option anywhere. the way that I did it, there are a couple of ways to do it. The way that I did it is I went into the WordPress dashboard and I went into the updates tab under where it was my goodness, it's not even there anymore. Under dashboard, there is a, if you hover over dashboard, you'll see the updates option. When I clicked into that, that was, I updated all of my plugins. And then once I had done that, there's a setting down at the bottom, a section down at the bottom that's for themes. And as long as you've got the API key for your Elegant Themes membership logged in your Divi settings, you should have the Divi theme available to update that way. If it's not there and you're on Divi 4.0 point anything or 3.9 point anything, whatever you're running, and it's not there that you can update, that's a support question because you absolutely should be able to update 4.1. So check in your WordPress dashboard, hover over dashboard, and you should have home and updates. You should be able to see it there. Like I said, if not, and it's not there, then I see that you said you found it. So awesome. That's how I always update WordPress. There are probably better ways to do it, but that is how I've been doing it as long as that option has existed. So I can't say there's always downloading the new version from your members area and installing that way. But I prefer the update method like this. So yeah, I wanted to let y'all know about that. Those are the things that I thought were newsworthy this week. Getting to hang out with y'all and all of us hang out together in Phoenix is going to be lit. Like Raquel says, it's going to be so awesome. And then being able to being able to finally use Divi and Gutenberg together will solve a whole lot of problems for a whole lot of people. I'm really excited to see what comes from this. And remember that we do Divi design showcases every month. So if you do something really awesome with this new Divi block, let us see it. Submit it and let us see it for the Divi design showcase because it's just going to be worth your time. I mean, that would be great. Karen says one of the Divi updates deleted my API key and I had to go put it back. Oh no. At least that is always in your members area. So if that ever happens to anybody and your API key gets deleted for one reason or another, remember that you can always log into your members area and any number of API keys that you've created are there. And you can now put a label on any of them that you want. We have a label feature finally, a much requested label feature for you guys to label whatever you want within your members area without having to keep spreadsheets to do it that way. So you can do it with within your members area. So I'm sorry about that, Karen. That would be very annoying. I would be freaking out at that point if it were telling me that I couldn't update Divi. So awesome. There were good videos on showing how to put the key back. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that those were working for you. Like I said, I would be freaking out if that happened to me. So I'm glad that was sorted for you. So that was the news. Like I said, I want to move into the tutorial section next. The tutorials are basically where I go through the stuff that I found that will help some of us become better at WordPress. These are all sorts of things where from beginning to advanced features, try to put stuff in there for everybody, for the designers, the marketers, the content creators, just whatever it is that you do. I hope to find some stuff like this. If you're joining just now, make sure that you go back once this stream is over and watch it in the archives if you want to see the news section and the conversation that was happening through there. We have a new Divi block within Gutenberg once you update WordPress to 4.1. That came out yesterday, and then we're having a WordCamp Phoenix meetup, official Divi meetup that we're having there with some of the Elegant Theme staff that you can RSVP at and hang out with us with the links inside the description of the video. So so moving into the tutorials, I wanted to show y'all some of the really cool stuff that that Donyetta and Jason have put together this week. that I love the newest one that I think is the newest one that Dunyeta put up. It might not be the absolute newest, but the how to automatically add your header below each page's first Divi section. One of the things that everyone has always talked. Oh, excuse me. One of the things that everyone has always talked about with Divi, y'all have all done this, on saying that all the headers look alike. You can tell a Divi site because of its menu and its header. Well, no longer. The theme builder lets you do a lot more cool stuff than you were able to before. And this one does it even more, where you can have a Divi section above your header, and Dunyeta shows you how to do it. I love the design that she has on this one. It's very simple and clean, and there is a high chance that I'm going to steal this one at some point, but it is a very in-depth tutorial on how to design this page and get your header below your first Divi section, and I highly, highly, highly suggest that you check that out, because that makes it just one more way to differentiate your site from others and show your skill with Divi, and be able to bring those clients in, you know? And then Jason, I believe, did the how to style Divi's comments module inside a blog post template. And I was wrong. That was not Jason. I'm sorry. That was Orana. Orana did this one. I apologize, Orana, for stealing your credit and giving it to someone else. That you can style comments. That I don't know if y'all have used the comments module before, but it's great. You can do a lot of stuff with it. I really suggest using it if you've not messed with it before, especially now that we have the theme builder. You can do a lot with designing your comment section and making sure that the discussions happen like you want them to and make them accessible for your readers. And the designing the contents within the blog post itself, within the blog post template, is great. So Arana does that one, and it is absolutely beautiful as well. And then I'm just going to briefly touch on it. I mentioned it last week, but I know that we have an article now on it, on a guide to using the Google Site Nope, that's not what it's called. A guide to using the Google Sitekit WordPress plugin. We have that now, where we talked about the plugin last week and how you guys were doing. Excuse me, that a lot of how y'all were using it, how to get it set up. We have a guide to setting it up, using it, and things like that. So y'all should totally check it out. Uncle Social says on YouTube, instead of increasingly obscure weekly layout packs, I would think it would be much more useful to have a brand new header each week, just a header. I think that for what it's going to be is that those individual headers are going to be within those layout packs. I'm not sure what the plan is on how to do that. I know that we've talked in the past about separating out the different sections from each one to use. I don't know at what point that may happen. I know that would be one way to do that. I don't think there will be a point where it's just headers that are going to be released, but I would not be surprised if we get a lot more imaginative headers included within the layout packs, and then I would steal those and use those. I've done that before with the Cyber Monday packs, where I've taken the different headers from it and used them with the theme builder. Uncle Social says, I feel as though I'm not imaginative enough to discover what the new header builder can achieve, and I'm 100% there with you. I absolutely am that way. I cannot do it well. I've tried to use the new header builder, and I'm bad at it. That I can do a lot of things, and I know that I'm very good at a large number of things. The header builder is not one of them. So I am very very pleased that we have the header builders or the header designs different ways. But I would expect them to be included in the layout packs rather than having them being separated. When it gets to the point where they're able to separate them out as individual sections, that's when I would bet that you'll be able to see that, but I would not look for individual ones being released like we do layout packs. So beyond that, I want to go to, the fourth link under tutorials is a really fun URL that's hard for me to say, 24a11y.com. Um, I I don't yeah, 24 accessibility. I don't understand. But I found this article. It was linked to me earlier, and I think it's great. It's talking about whether you use pixels or relative units in CSS, and it talks about why it's a big deal. And this is an incredibly in-depth look at the difference in using PX units, EM units, and REM units. That you have those three that you're looking at and seeing the difference in, and you can scroll down, and it talks about one of the major differences being that whether or not users go in and adjust their default settings in their browsers. That if they don't edit the settings, then pixels are okay-ish. That that pixels can work okay and not mess up your designs too much because they're just using the defaults, and that's what you're using to design with. It turns out a lot of people actually change their default settings, so we don't need to use those kinds of static measurements like pixels whenever possible. That we want to use the relative units. We want to use REMs and EMs. What that does is make the websites honestly more accessible. I've seen there's accessibility is the big thing right now, and on top of accessibility, using EM and REM specifically makes it so that your designs don't break. That when things get responsive and you are being seen in different viewports and different sizes and different zooms, it doesn't break if you're using relative units. At least it doesn't break as often when you do that. And they go through this and they give examples of how the line height goes into consideration. They talk about how EM and REM shows how everything's done, and I cannot recommend enough that you switch entirely to, or as often as possible, I should say that, as often as possible, to relative units. Like Joey 8 says on is static versus responsive, basically. And if you're dealing with static right now, it's going to penalize your sites and hurt your users specifically because of accessibility. But it was interesting to see that they talked specifically about people changing their settings, that lots of users do that, and especially when they're using accessibility options. That is so prevalent these days, and so it's very important that you do that, because the REM and EM affects even the accessibility zoom and things like that with screen. I won't say screen readers, but screen accessibility, like the Mac OS picture-in-picture is what it talks about and has a GIF of. So this is an awesome article that hope y'all give the writer and the site a big boost in traffic for, so that and y'all get some use out of it as well. Excuse me. I see Martin asks on YouTube, is there anything specifically within Divi that can be used for making questionnaires and sign-up forms? I use Ninja Forms, so I don't think so. I know that there's the contact form, stuff like that for sign up. That's what I've used for stuff like that, just capturing an email, getting people signed up to different email lists. But in terms of other stuff like surveys and questionnaires and things like that, I use Ninja Forms. There is a Divi specific module for Caldera forms. I'm not a Contact Form 7 person. I just don't like it. A lot of other people do. It's a great piece of software. It just doesn't work for me. I like things that I don't have to use as many placeholder variables, and so I don't use it. But I know you can do a lot with it, but I don't think there's any kind of like questionnaire capability within Divi. And if there is, I want to know know about it because I've not been using it. I've been using other stuff. And then I see Karen asks or says, when I use the header builder, it overlaps weirdly on my... Sorry, I got distracted by comments. When I use the header builder, it overlaps weirdly on my pages. And I am thinking, Karen, I'm going to look this up, that there was a way when we first... trying to see. When we first did the theme builder, that there was a post that we did about fixing that, and I can't seem to find it right now. I know that was a known issue for a bit. I think that it was having to apply padding to your top. That one of the fixes was just adding a bit of padding to your top section where it doesn't overlap. At least to begin with. I'm not sure what it was because I can't seem to find the post right now off the top of my head. It is... but that was one thing. That's what I've done in the past to do it. Margin as well. Margin might work better than padding, actually. But that... yeah, that's what I've done in the past. I cannot remember what the other fix was. And then Uncle Social says there's a Divi opt-in module, which you're absolutely right. There is a Divi opt-in module. I don't ever use it, so I think about it. Questionnaires, Google Forms, and SurveyMonkey are nice services that you're sending people away from your site. You can embed Google Forms within different code modules, I believe, where you don't have to actually leave your site. You just need to make sure that the iframe works for them. And then Judy says that she had downloaded a Divi header footer pack.json file last November. So there's a precedent from ET. I can't remember where I was throwing free samples at. And yeah, Judy, that was from us. That was part of our Cyber Monday and Black Friday deal. For any members at that point, you could download those. I can't remember. It might be right now. I'm just going to log in and see. That I don't think it's available anymore. But if you were able to grab those, they were part of our Black Friday and Cyber Monday deals. Those were great. I love them. And they went along with our Cyber Monday and Black Friday layout packs as well. They were included in both. So I really liked those headers like that. I've used those myself. Video says, just popped in. I don't know if it's been asked. What's the best plugin with Divi that's free for ADA? What an ADA? I saw that was asked this morning as well in the comments on a blog regarding ADA and what is ADA. That's the American with Disabilities Act. That is basically where folks with disabilities of any kind get accommodations and we all need to accommodate everyone to be able to use our site, which is not anywhere near a bad thing. And I don't know, video says huge for restaurants not getting sued, that kind of thing. Yeah. I don't know. That I don't know. I know it's been brought up, like I said, and I haven't used a specific plugin. I think we have... This is me going through... through all of the things, trying to find it. This is an older post from 2018, but I've posted it in the comments of both YouTube and Facebook here. It is different ways to check your accessibility. It's kind of an accessibility audit. I know that's not what you asked for. I don't exactly know. It has different options on things that you can use. to do it, but I don't actually know of any specific plugins to do that. I wish I did. I will do some research. I'm going to make myself a note in my handy dandy Mac OS sticky notes on looking into that, on seeing it. But you're absolutely right. That is something that would be wonderful to have. I'm hoping that as we move forward in the year, that some of the developers in the third-party plugin society is the only word I could think of, in the third-party plugin developer community, will be able to come up with stuff like that, and we'll be able to promote that, because I don't actually, like I said, I don't know, but I made myself a note to look into it and see if there is something that is specific for Divi auditing and accessibility and fixing, because it would be a great idea. Get back up to where I was. Trevor said, new to Divi, recommended official training courses. Where can I find them? Divi's way better than Themify, but there's no training support. Okay, so here, excellent question. The way that I learned Divi is not the way that I would suggest anyone else learn Divi, by crash coursing yourself through ruining a bunch of websites. That was how I learned to use Divi. Do not suggest that. What I have learned the most from on using Divi is watching live streams that Jason and Donietta and Mac have done every Tuesday afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern. You can go back on our YouTube and Facebook channels, and you'll be able to see videos that are how to do this or how to do that with Divi. And it is a use case that shows Jason or Donietta using Divi to perform these specific tasks and create this use case. And that's how I learn a lot of Divi features and how to do things and like the best practices. I know that other people on here watch those as well. Mac, M-A-K, Augustine Mac does fantastic videos on YouTube for us, and his own channels showing how to use Divi as well. I think I'm gonna have to look on the blog here again. I think there was a review of a Divi course recently. I'm looking at that. We have a review of Divi courses by Divi Space. I'm gonna copy link address. Again, I'm gonna paste this into the comments for people following along. For that one. That was just our most recent one that I saw. It's not an official one, but it is an overview of what you can expect from that particular course, the Divi business course, and then they talk about different ones that way. The live chats, like I said, the live streams are incredibly useful to me. I went through Team Treehouse, and I know that that is not Divi in particular. When I was transitioning from freelance, or from being an English instructor to a freelance web guy, I ended up doing Treehouse for WordPress in general and really getting caught up on just WordPress and PHP and how things are working, using it as a refresher. If that's something you need to do, I can't recommend that enough because it helped me a great deal. In terms of Divi, I cannot recommend the live streams enough, and that is not because I work here, although, you know, of course we do good stuff. What I really have learned more from them than anywhere else. If there's anything specific that you want to learn how to do in Divi, there are documentation videos that are within the builder itself, that if you hit the help button on any single module or window, it will open up the video help for that module and show you how to use it. That one is something that we're really hoping more people can take advantage of, because it's just right there. If it's a particular issue where you're like, I have no idea how to use this opt-in module, what do I do? You can click the help button and see the documentation video for it. Not a course, but it does help you figure out what's going on with that particular feature. then our YouTube channel and Facebook page they're covered with live stream archives as well as the YouTube videos that Mac and Matt are putting out every week for different things. I would search that and search our blog. The way I search our blog is actually elegant themes in Google. I go elegant themes and then whatever I'm looking for it to come up with whatever keywords I need, and then do the blog search on the blog as well to see what else comes up. That's how I've found a lot of stuff, just learning how to use Divi. But yeah, like I said, the Divi Space one that got reviewed, I haven't looked at it. I just know that we had a review of it on the blog recently, and there are lots of different courses out there to try. I like the live streams. Like I said, it's not because we do them. It is because I've learned a lot on how to do them. Joey8 asks, why is there no blog option on the ET menu? That was a conscious choice that was made. There is a blog option in the footer menu. It was a conscious choice to increase community engagement on our other platforms in our new Facebook group, and really focus in on Divi itself within the header. We wanted to make sure that we had taken advantage of the space being as concentrated as we could. I always just type in /blog every single day. I used to click on that a bunch. Now I just keep /blog either bookmarked. I am one of the people who still uses bookmarks, and keep it on just typing it in every day. Took me some getting used to, not gonna lie. Now I don't even think about it, but it was a choice that the team made to focus in the header on very specific ideas, not even ideals, but really attempting to focus in on that. Also, Trevor, I was thinking, just saying that reminded me, if you're on Facebook, I suggest checking out our Divi theme users Facebook group. There's a lot of tutorial content that comes up on there as people ask questions, and you can ask questions. That's the official one for Elegant Themes. We have a team of community moderators. Raquel is there moderating. Just lots of people there are great. I think 30,000 something people there now. I can't remember the last time I looked exactly what it was, but it may have, I don't know if it's broken 40. I don't remember. But lots of people there talking about Divi all the time. It's also a great place to learn. So hopefully some of that will get you, moving forward a little bit. And make sure you tune in on Monday at 6 a.m. Eastern. Or check if that's too early for you, like it is for me, make sure that you check it out on the archive of it, because Matt goes through the new features every Monday morning after a feature release, and learning how to use every new feature as it comes out with questions being asked by the audience is incredibly, incredibly useful. So that helps a great deal, I think. I know, like I said, it helps me learn how to do stuff with the live streams. That's how I learned to do it a lot more than anything else. But there are courses out there. Check the blog to see what we've got posted on there and reviewed, and then other Elegant Themes, or other Divi sites, excuse me. As I as I move down, I've talked a bunch. So Trevor is absolutely right. I can provide a link to the Facebook group. Would make sense that I talk about it and I do it, wouldn't it? Let's see. Where is it now? I can't find it. Now that I've logged in, I cannot find it. I'm live on the air and can't find what I'm looking for. I used to be in radio, and one of my first jobs was as a DJ, and I was very much, I was told from the very beginning that you do not have dead air. That it is the worst thing that you can do is have dead air, just silence on the radio. And I feel that way about live streams too. It just kills me when I have to look something up. That's part of, that's part of being live, but it's still, I have my bosses in the back of my head telling me that I better not have dead air and they better not hear it. So my boss at the radio station back when I was 18. But there you go. I've linked to the Facebook page in the comments of this stream, YouTube and on Facebook. So yes, I linked to Facebook on Facebook. But yeah, it's very good. Lots of good stuff on there. But yeah, thank you for reminding me to do that, Trevor. That would have made a lot of sense, wouldn't it? Uncle Social is going to start droning on, he says, about how ET needs to ditch Facebook groups and take ownership of the community with their self-hosted forum with a Discourse install. I do like Discourse a bunch. We do still have our community forum on the website. It is not staffed, but it is still there for the community to use and ask questions and answer each other's questions. At least it was last time. And Judy says it's not dead air when we get to watch you fumble for the info, and fumble is the correct word. And so many curiosities in my background that each of them tells a story. And I love this one. This one right here that I'm pointing at is Chichen Itza, from where Joy took a picture of it, and I just loved it, and I took it. This is actually not BB-8. This is BB-9E. It is just a Funko Pop that my nephew gave me. It's not a USB cable. It's just my mouse cable, and that's the monitor cord right there. I see what you're saying, though. I wish it were something that were automated like that. Mechanized like that, I guess. But yeah, my nephew got me that. Was one of his first things that he picked out for me, specifically when The Last Jedi came out. So of course there's a story to that one. It was like he wanted to get me that specifically when he was, I want to say, like 6 or 7 years old, however long ago it was that came out. So made me very happy. So moving forward just a little bit, I've been able to talk with y'all and get some really good questions answered. Hopefully have actually answered those and helped y'all. But I do want to point out and move into the resources just very briefly. We only have a couple of minutes left. But I want to point out some of these resources that there was a blog post on our blog that was 7 Divi child themes for podcasters. And these are actual child themes for Divi that you can download from external places that are very, very useful for podcasting and content creation. They're very beautiful, and there is actually one that I'm looking at probably purchasing myself. I'm not going to tell you which one, though. And then I loved, y'all, the second link under resources, the split personality of brutalist web development. If you're like me, and I'm sure that you guys are because you're watching this stream, you really, really care about like deep dives and theory behind various kinds of design and design decisions. And the way that it talks about brutalism in this article on Smashing is brilliant. Just the way that it talks about how people approach brutalism, approach functionality and utilitarianism with the websites. It is absolutely great. I cannot recommend this enough. I've always said that this is the section where it would be the stuff that I would share on Twitter. I made sure to share it with my podcast community today with the split personality of brutalist web development. I just thought it was really, really cool. And Judy says mechanize or AI eyes. I would go with mechanize on this one and just animate it, animatronic it, however it would be, because I don't want AI, because he's the one who got all of them caught on the Star Destroyer. He was being mean, so I don't like it. I don't want an AI, or he will get me into trouble. So there's a Velocitize article under resources I'd like to point out specifically as well. It's the fourth one down under the resources section in the video description. It's called The Path to Thought Leadership, runs through LinkedIn. And I'm not a LinkedIn person. I'm not good at it. I'm very rarely on there. I cannot remember the last time that I logged in on there. But they make a lot of good points on if you are looking to be a thought leader, if you are looking to be influential in your field, in any field, really making a following. LinkedIn is a great place to do it because of it being such a smaller network where you're actually interacting with people that are totally engaged with the kind of content that you're creating. So if that's something that y'all are thinking about doing, that you're looking for an audience and how to grow different professional aspects of your life, that is a really good article to read, to think about the reasons why LinkedIn may be an option for you. Video Superhero asks, one thing I want to ask the community, is anybody else's contact forms getting hammered if not using a CAPTCHA? And yes, yes they are. Mine are, at least. I'm not sure, obviously, if other people's are. It has been getting pretty rough lately. I've had people on sites that I thought I had the contact form turned off on, finding a way to send me messages through, well, people, I say bots, sending me messages through contact forms I didn't know that I even had set up anymore. So yeah, use reCAPTCHA, use the new Divi spam prevention stuff in there. So yeah, absolutely. Mom Saeed asks, how can I add a blog to my Divi website? I subscribed yesterday, but I see that it's static pages. If I added a new page and called it blog, what should I do then to make it to the blog? Uncle Social did answer this before I was able to say anything. You use the Divi Blog module to show posts on that page you created, and you need to create the actual WordPress posts too. I would also suggest doing that, going into your settings and into your reading settings, and telling the WordPress site that you want to make the blog page the standard post page, that it will be the one that it directs your blog page to, is the one that you created. The Divi blog module that Uncle Social mentioned, what that is where it lists the post. You'll have a content area where you can decide whether you want the list of posts or if you want a grid of posts. A page is the one, that you create the blog, and that would be, that you want people to be directed to. Insert the blog posts module, and then it will show up any blog posts that have been published. One thing that I suggest doing if you're new to Divi is using one of our pre-made layouts. I would choose any of them that we have. Go into the page that you created. I would just search where it is looking for a pre-made layout. Search for blog, and what that will do is give you a list of our full page designs for different blog pages. Import one of them that you like, and then look at how the modules are set up on there. You'll be able to open it up in wireframe mode and see which modules are used to do what. And it will give you an idea of how you can set up different blog pages for different ways in your on your site as well. That was one of the things that I did. Again, whenever those started being published, to get better with Divi, was looking at what Kenny and his design team created, and then reverse engineering that to see how I could make sections and rows and modules do what they're doing. But absolutely, what Uncle Social said, he answered it before I did. Use Divi blog module to show posts on the page you created, make actual WordPress posts so that they show up on there, and then set the default posts page in your settings reading. to be the page that you created, and that will be what you need to do. So that is beyond time for me, you guys. I will need to get out of here before I turn into a pumpkin, and I appreciate y'all being here. I do always appreciate y'all being here. Taking the time on your Friday afternoon to hang out, help the community, and really help build Elegant Themes and Divi with every single minute y'all watch. I really appreciate that, and appreciate all of your help for when people ask questions. Y'all make me so happy. I cannot describe how happy it makes me when you guys answer questions before I even see it. So thank you so much for being fantastic. Remember that we're going to be in Phoenix, Arizona on February 7th if you want to hang out with the team at WordCamp Phoenix. And if you are interested in making sure that you see any live streams that we do, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell so that you're notified when we go live, and tell Facebook that you want to be notified when we go live if that's where you're watching on. Otherwise, you may not see it. And remember that we go live 3 times a week whenever there's a feature release. Mac goes live at 6 a.m. Eastern on Mondays. Every Tuesday afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern, Jason or Donietta goes live with a Divi use case, which again, those are the ones that I use to learn how to do cool Divi stuff, watching the wizards at work. And every Friday afternoon, I go live with this show at 3 p.m. Eastern, going through different curated links and answering any community questions that I can. If y'all need anything at all, you know where I am, and I will see every last one of you hopefully next Friday at 3. Bye, y'all.